think this is symbolic of the whole campaign. We just ran out of gas at the last minute.
Pencil on you, Mr. Brown.
Is that right? There it goes. That's a sign that if you don't make it the first time, you try again, right? He is funneling money to his wife's law firm for state business. That's number one.
I don't care what you say about me, but you ought to be ashamed of yourself for jumping on my wife. You're not worth being on the same platform.
I'll tell you something, Mr. Clinton.
Now,
don't try to escape it. Ralph Nader called me this afternoon. He read me the article from the Washington Post.
Does that make it
I
true?
was shocked by it.
You're saying, in effect, Governor Brown, that's garbage and you know it. Is that what you're saying?
It is garbage.
Okay, let's get on to something else.
We're here to give people of Chicago and Illinois a choice. A choice to repudiate a corrupt status quo that doesn't serve their interest. People who feel they've been ripped off and lied to, they got a cause. And this cause is what we call We the People. We take no more than $100 from anybody.
Why?
Why? Because we think the whole system is rotten. It hasn't served the people. And the only way to break it up is to break up the money that fuels it. And
Can you run an effective campaign with
if enough people
that
give
kind of a limitation?
Well, we've had 100,000 people call our 800 number. If we get a few 100,000 more, it'll work. And the reason why I'm running to break up a system that isn't working, you see. And Mr. Clinton comes in, he gets all the money and makes the ads, but nothing will change because the people who've produced him have also produced the problem. And this is part of the insulation of the leadership from any real change. And this campaign is real change.
We're here. All right.
And the 80s were a story primarily of the rich getting richer because of their enormous power in the system and the weakening through moving jobs abroad and the bringing in of cheap imports. All that put pressure to lower the standard of living. And that contributed to crime, to family breakdown, and all the rest. Anybody who says dealing with that problem by giving working people more power, that's not a special interest. That's caring, that's a community that works, and that's something I want to fight for as long as I have any power in my bones. Governor. Say, this parade is moving like America. Too slow.
Real slow.
Is this all right if I eat my apple on national television?
Sure, yes.
Governor Brown is the third candidate right now. How important are debates like this for you to get?
They're very important. They're very important because it allows me to sit at the table and present my ideas to protect jobs in this country, protect the environment, show where my tax ideas differ from theirs, and people then can take a judgment. These are affecting people who are voting in primaries, so they're very important. And if I become president, these are going to become the rule rather than the exception.
Take back America!
A while ago, Jerry Brown ran at the same time Clinton did, but dropped out, and I voted for him. I wrote him in. That was the only time I ever voted. I like some of the things he wanted to say. He was a real person, and he was out there to help real people, about homeless people and issues like that, and welfare, and you know, legalizing marijuana for medical use. I really liked the reality he had on life. It seemed like he wanted to make a difference in our lives of basic people that are low income and need help and need somebody.
I mean, if the people would join, if trade unions, the Rainbow Coalition, environmental groups, students, we've got an opportunity to work some real change. You take it, Clinton, 7, 8 million bucks coming from the insiders, the same people who brought you where we are. You're not going to have any real change. You've had Democrats, you've got a controlled Congress by Democrats. There's still suffering and despair and hopelessness for millions of kids, millions of people. It's unjust. It'll never be changed unless the way this country is being run is decisively challenged. I say it's the corrupt money, it's the Clintons of this world who basically shine us on with a lot of nice talk about how they're going to do this and do that, but they are so implicated and embedded in this status quo, and they're so blessed and anointed by it that I don't believe they can do the job.